played a huge role in the capture of one of America's most wanted. All right, welcome to this episode of the Arizona Timeless Tourist. This is going to be a little bit different from previous episodes. I've been out here in the Pinal Cemetery around Globe, Arizona, trying to find two graves. And it's roughly about 109 degrees out here today, and I've spent, again, probably about 2.5 hours. I almost gave up, and then I finally found what I was looking for. So I'm like, I'm going to record this. There are two people buried out here in the Pinal Cemetery. One of them is a lady named Pearl Bywater, and another one is a chief, Takalia. These two people have an unbelievable history. Pearl Bywater was known as Pearl Hart, the first female bandit to rob a stagecoach in May of 1899. Her and a friend of hers, a male friend of hers, robbed a stagecoach around Riverside Station. I did a video on that. I'll stick it up here on the top if you want to check that out. There's a lot more information on Pearl on that video. But they were successful in robbing the stagecoach, but what happened is they got away with about $450. And then they rode off and they let the people in the stagecoach head back. And they really didn't have a plan on how to escape. So what ended up happening is they were caught by the sheriff at the time of Florence. He brought them both back to Florence. They were tried twice because the first time she was tried, they found her not guilty. Well, that made the judge irate. And they resentenced him, had another jury, and was found guilty after they deliberated for about 2 minutes. So after the second trial, Pearl Hart was sentenced to 5 years at the Yuma Penitentiary. And so she was sent there, and she became very famous while she was there. She had a different cell. You know, things had to be a little bit different. There wasn't too many women in prison back then, especially for 5 years. Well, what happened is she actually got released, paroled in 1902. And people in Florence were just hot about this, and so were the people in Yuma. Well, it came out that Pearl had sent numerous letters to the governor, and what she was stating was that she was pregnant. And, well, politics being politics, no different than they are today, they couldn't take any chances of a scandal like that breaking out, that she got pregnant while she was serving her prison sentence. So what happens is the governor goes ahead and releases her in 1902, but tells her that she is not allowed back into the territory of Arizona forever. So she leaves and she ends up in Kansas City, where she opens a cigar store. Okay, as time goes on, she's lost to history until 1940. Here in Globe, Arizona, they were taking the census. And the census taker met this lady named Pearl Bywater. And we don't know exactly why the census lady came to this conclusion, but she was like, her real name is Pearl Hart. This is actually Pearl Hart, not Pearl Bywater. And she came back to Arizona and she married a rancher named George Bywater. And they lived together for years and years. So she marries a rancher named George Bywater, and she lives out the rest of her life pretty quiet here in Globe, Arizona. It wasn't again found until the census of 1940 that this Pearl Bywater was actually Pearl Hart, the famous bandit. Okay, this is the gravesite of Pearl Bywater, Pearl Hart, and her husband, George Bywater. Now, George, he passed away in August of 1955, and Pearl passed away in December of 1955. But this is it right here. It took me a long time to find this. Okay, again, this is just a little bit different. I am filming this whole episode on my GoPro. I'm not going to switch over to the Canon camera. I'm not going to take a bunch of pictures. So I apologize. This isn't normally how I do it. You know, usually I got a lot of B-roll footage and I've got a lot of pictures in the video and I give you just a tad more information. But I'm going to tell you, searching out here for the last 2.5 hours, now I brought plenty of water, but having it be just when I checked the car now 109 degrees, I'm just I am worn out. So gonna film the whole thing with the GoPro Max right here, and the next spot we're going to is Chief Takalia. Chief Takalia played a huge role in the capture of one of America's most wanted. That's right. Stay tuned. You know what, I'm really hoping this is coming out, guys. This GoPro keeps shutting down on me. Now it is scorching and the GoPro is really hot. But the thing is, I've only had it out here for like 40 minutes tops. So I'm hoping I'm not gonna go trade out cameras. I hope when I get home, all of this footage is on this SD card. Because if it's not, whoo, a grown man might shed a tear. Being my second time out here, it's a 142-mile round trip. The first time I came out, he was even hotter, so I shouldn't really complain. But this GoPro keeps shutting off, keeps saying air. So I'm like, and I can't, because it's so bright, I can't see really why it's doing that. And the only reason I could guess is because it's too hot. But that shouldn't affect the GoPro. Well, I was right. As soon as I got home and I started editing this video, all of my video on Chief Takalia was completely gone. So I had to come home and refilm it. So here it is. Let me tell you a little bit about Chief Takalia. Chief Takalia was raised on the San Carlos Reservation. He was chief of scouts to 3 Army generals. He was one of the leaders that walked 400 miles to New Mexico to capture Geronimo. He was a friend of the Earps and Tombstone, and President Cleveland invited him to the White House. And if you look at the dates on his tombstone, he lived a long life to 113 years of age. All right, thanks for joining me for this episode of the Arizona Timeless Tourist. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would ask that you would hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. And follow me on Facebook and TikTok. Take care.